Hi, my name's Joshua Dabelstein. I'm a writer, and over the past few years, I've had to ask myself some pretty uncomfortable questions. I think strategically speaking, the most uncomfortable question I've had to ask myself is about language, my only tool. Is language failing me, or am I failing it? One thing I can be sure about is that we are combating antisemitism, and yet at the same time, we are failing to curtail the vilification of Jews. I needed to find out why, and I needed to consult with people all over the world. I'm going to try to distill some of what others have told me into some short videos. So what I can tell you is that there's a growing movement, one with an answer that feels too simple or maybe even too good to be true. It's one that says, stop focusing all of our resources on combating antisemitism, and instead maybe focus on the elephant in the room. And I'm not talking about gun control. I've partnered with the Zionist Council of New South Wales to talk specifically about the biggest threat to Jews in the post-Holocaust period. This is the first short video in a series about anti-Zionism. Here's what we know. Antisemitism is not socially acceptable. We have laws and social norms prohibiting race-based bigotry. But anti-Zionism falls beyond the scope of this kind of moral prohibition because it targets Jewish self-determination instead of Jews as race polluters. Both kill Jews, but only one is given the permission to foster environments to make that happen. Anti-Zionism is allowed to masquerade as political speech, even though it's not even criticism of Israel. Anti-Zionism is an eliminationist movement. It's institutionally justified through libels repeated ad nauseum for decades. And these libels delegitimize Israel by parroting from its birth accusations of colonialism and genocide and apartheid. Anti-Zionists take issue not with what Israel does, but that Israel is. Anti-Zionism is not pro-Palestinian, it's anti-Jewish self-determination. Anti-Zionist purges drove 13,000 Jews out of Poland in 1968, and this was at a time when anti-Semitism was illegal. Anti-Zionism has shaped violence from Munich to Argentina, from Manchester to Washington, from Israel to Colorado, all the way to Bondi. So why should anti-Zionism have to cross the line into anti-Semitism to be taken seriously? Anti-Zionist libels mark Jews for violence because the broader community mistakes it for political criticism. The next few videos will go into more detail about how different forms of anti-Jewish vilification require different strategies to tackle. We've got some incredibly experienced advocates and organisations here in Australia, and our community is a full and vibrant and diverse and strong one. Combating anti-Zionism is not a negation of prior work. In fact, it's only going to be made possible by all of the work that's already being done. So please join me over the next few weeks or maybe even months, depending on how this goes, as we talk more and more about anti-Zionism in Australia and what we can do about it.